At 11:59 p.m., a single email appeared on Rian's laptop screen. The subject line read, "Congratulations. You have one final chance." Rian froze. His heartbeat quickened. Outside his apartment window, rain hammered against the glass. Lightning flashed across the dark sky, briefly illuminating the room. The city below was alive with thousands of lights, but inside his room, everything felt silent. Slowly, he clicked on the email. It was from one of the biggest startup competitions in the country. Months earlier, Rian had submitted an idea for an AI-powered education platform. Out of more than 50,000 participants, only 100 had been shortlisted. And now, he had reached the final stage. If selected, he would receive funding, mentorship, and an opportunity to build his dream company. For most people, this would have been the happiest moment of their lives. But Rian wasn't smiling. He was terrified, because the email contained one final requirement: upload your presentation video within 24 hours. His eyes remained fixed on the screen. 24 hours. That was all he had. 24 hours to stand in front of a camera. 24 hours to explain his idea. 24 hours to show the world what he had spent 3 years building. And that was exactly the problem. For 3 years, he had worked in secret. He loved creating things. He loved solving problems. But he hated being seen. He hated speaking in front of people. He hated being judged. Most of all, he hated the possibility of failure. The moment people could see his work, they could criticize it. The moment he spoke, they could laugh. The moment he tried, he could lose. And that fear had followed him his entire life. Back in school, Rian was known as the quiet genius. He always scored high marks. He always completed projects on time. Teachers praised his intelligence. But nobody knew how much fear lived inside him. Whenever there was a debate competition, he avoided it. Whenever there was a stage performance, he disappeared. Whenever there was an opportunity to lead, he stepped aside. He constantly compared himself to others. Someone was always smarter. Someone was always more confident. Someone was always better. At least, that's what he believed. Over time, those thoughts became a prison. A prison built from self-doubt. The next morning, Rian sat in front of a camera. The presentation script was ready. The slides were perfect. Everything was prepared. Everything except him. He pressed record. The red light appeared. Immediately, his mind went blank. He stopped recording, tried again, failed again, 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 again. After 15 attempts, frustration took over. He slammed his notebook shut. "Maybe I'm not meant for this," he muttered. For a moment, quitting felt easy, comfortable, safe. Then his eyes landed on a photo hanging beside his desk. It showed a younger version of himself holding a handmade robot he had built at age 12. He remembered that day clearly. The robot barely worked. People laughed at it. But 12-year-old Rian didn't care. He kept improving it until it finally moved. That child wasn't fearless. He was simply curious enough to keep trying. Somewhere along the way, fear had replaced curiosity. Rian stared at the photo for a long time. Then a realization hit him. The successful people he admired weren't confident from the beginning. The famous entrepreneurs, the creators, the innovators, they had all started exactly where he was. Uncertain, nervous, afraid. The difference was that they acted anyway. Confidence didn't come first. Action came first. Confidence followed. For the next 6 hours, Rian kept recording. The first videos were terrible. The next ones were slightly better. Then better. Then better again. Slowly, something changed. His voice became steadier. His words became clearer. His fear became smaller. Not because it disappeared, because he stopped giving it control. By evening, He finally had a presentation he was proud of. Not perfect, but real. And sometimes, real is more powerful than perfect. At 11:47 p.m., with only 13 minutes remaining before the deadline, Rian uploaded the video. His finger hovered over the submit button. The old fear returned one final time. What if they reject me? What if I'm not good enough? What if this fails? Then another thought appeared. A stronger thought. What if this changes my life? For the first time, he smiled and clicked submit. 3 months later, the results were announced. Rian wasn't just selected. He finished among the top winners. Investors loved his idea. Mentors wanted to work with him. Opportunities began appearing everywhere. But the biggest reward wasn't the funding. It wasn't the recognition. It wasn't even the success. The biggest reward was discovering something that would stay with him forever. He had spent years believing confidence was a requirement for success. Now he knew the truth. Confidence is created by action. Every time you face fear and move forward anyway, confidence grows. Every challenge you accept makes you stronger. Every step outside your comfort zone expands your belief in yourself. Years later, when people asked Rian how he became so confident, he always gave the same answer. I wasn't confident when I started. I became confident because I started. And that simple lesson changed not only his future, but his entire life. Moral of the story. Never wait for confidence before chasing your dreams. Take the first step despite fear, because confidence is built through action, not before it.